guys, a couple of big things to discuss this week, in addition to a litany of rather amusing headlines. The theme of today's episode is dumb shit Jordan saw in the news and thought was funny. But before we get to some of that stuff, I did actually sell some things yesterday.
Oh, nice.
So I was doing some digging after our conversation last week, and I was like, you know what? I feel like there's some positive momentum here. I don't need to. As much as I don't want to lose, I can't overreact either. So I actually didn't sell anything until Friday. I cut my deficit from 6.5% to 2.5%.
Nice.
And then starting Monday, I cashed out Apple and Microsoft at like +5 and +6. Or +6 and +7. I don't know. They were both positive, is the point. And then I bought shares of two companies. Well, one of them I admittedly never heard of. But the other one, I am going into the luxury goods category. I did buy some of LVMH, which was the luxury conglomerate that owns like Louis Vuitton and Tiffany and all that stuff. Curious to see how that goes. I myself am not much a consumer of luxury goods, as you can probably tell. So curious to see how that goes. The other one is ASML, which, based on the research I started doing, they're often called one of the largest tech companies you've never heard of. They do like stuff with chips and technical components and stuff, which like sounds really boring, and it probably is really boring. But if chips are in such high demand and other technological components are extremely expensive, I feel like there's got to be some short-term upside here. So, chasing the upside there, chasing the upside with LVMH as billionaires continue to spend ludicrous amounts of money on stuff. And we'll see if I can't gain, 2 or 3% in a week.
Nice. Yeah.
So we'll see. I wanted to unload Alaska Airlines too after some of our conversations last week. The problem was that they were a net negative for the month. So if I'm trying to cut a deficit, I can't sell anything that's net negative for the month of March. Goodness, it's July. Goodness, I'm having trouble with my allergies. If you couldn't tell by the way that I sound, so my brain is partially broken. I apologize. But I couldn't sell it because I only was net positive for the month of July 3 things, and I sold 2 of them. So excited to see if I can chase anybody down, but I guess time will tell. Did either of you happen to do anything? I noticed that pretty much everybody's back in the green now except for me, so you've either done something or the general market trend has picked you back up again, one of the two.
I did buy some Bitcoin at like
buying
20.
the dip.
Yeah, honestly, it was at like 27,000 or something, so I bought it.
Yeah, kidding.
So I gotten a good return on investment on that so far.
Excellent.
And then also Shopify had a really good week, or it's had a really good month to be honest. I'm up like 12% on the month for Shopify.
Jeez.
So I'm kind of wondering if I should sell that. Like is that like peaking out now or like? I'm not really sure what's driving. To be honest, I haven't really been paying attention to Shopify news. I'm not really sure what's driving its price up right now.
Time to do some homework.
Yeah.
Nice. Well, that does explain some things on your end. That's good. Kyle, what about you?
So I haven't made any moves, but so I guess I don't know. Yeah, I've been having a couple of the companies that I've invested into have kind of made positive upturns or upswings. Starbucks is up like 12% this month, which is actually kind of huge.
Dude, nice.
Etsy finally came from like the huge negatives to like slightly positive. Yeah. So I think it's about time that I get out of that one.
Cut and run.
Yeah, maybe. Okay, so I think Cognizant has finally, lost all of its value in terms of F1 potential hype. So I finally just gone green on that as well.
Nice.
So I think I'm gonna get out of those two because those two are very volatile.
Lots of moves potentially coming this week. That should be fun.
Yeah, so we'll see. But I mean, overall, yeah, I think this past week has been pretty good for most of us. I think, I mean, even you, Jordan, like having had that big deficit.
Yeah, I mean, having cut four whole percentage points, I feel pretty
Yeah,
good. But yeah, I think in general, the prevailing trend of the market was a bit more positive this week
yeah,
than it was last week. So I think there's still a lot of concerns about inflation and all of that, but I don't think we're in a spot where that's ever going to go away. So I think the market either learns to coexist with it or it doesn't.
yeah.
So
Although one sad thing, I was really looking forward to seeing that negative 100% on Ethereum, but now I'm unfortunately down to negative 85%.
oh,
It's starting to bounce back a little
Yeah,
bit.
there you
yeah,
go.
definitely.
I finally broke back into the all-time positive on Bitcoin again. You will
Ooh.
recall I was up 76% and then proceeded to lose it all. I am now back to plus 1.5.
Oh, big move, big money.
Plus 1.5. Absolutely disgusting. Oh well. Welcome to the market.
Yeah.
Well, now that we've gotten all of the exciting things out of the way regarding everybody's portfolio, we're going to start today with a follow up on a topic from last week. We talked about how the Senate had launched an inquiry into the airlines and what they had done with all their stimulus money. Well, it turns out that Southwest has already issued a response to that. So, I believe somebody called it last week. I don't remember who. They are claiming that they are adequately staffed. Claiming that they are adequately staffed. They said the problem is, from an operations perspective, there's not enough wiggle room to handle the bandwidth of airplanes and passengers and checked bags. So they said they operated more than 650 daily round trip flights in June, more than they did in March. So it's a 25% increase. The number of passengers and bags that were checked doubled. Flights departing Southwest major cities left 90% full. Okay. So from March to June, they're saying we have the people. It's just such a big increase that we don't have our shit together.
Okay.
So, do you buy it? Because bear in mind, they have 16% fewer flights this year than they did in the summer of 2019 during the same time frame.
So they said they were fully staffed.
They said they were adequately staffed. They said they had small pockets of issues with like baggage check people and some stuff like that, but they claimed they were adequately staffed.
Okay, well, I mean, that doesn't necessarily seem adequately staffed. I don't know. I mean, yeah, I don't necessarily like. I mean, yeah, the increase is large, but at the same time, like, adequately staffed in terms of like this, the number is probably still far below whatever like like staff numbers they had in 2019, right? So like,
Yeah.
it's not like they're unable to. I don't know. Like, yeah, like they're just. I don't know. Like, and then the numbers are. I don't know. It just doesn't make sense. Yeah, like they're able to staff more, but they're not. They're just like, I don't know. The flight numbers or whatever, passenger numbers are higher. But yeah, I don't know. I don't really buy the fact that they're just like, we're okay where we are. It doesn't make sense. Just hire more people, unless there's not people that they want that want to work there.
Maybe.
Well, and I think we talked about that a little bit last week too. Like there are jobs, but are there? What is the turnaround time to take someone who wants to work that job and make sure they're properly trained?
Yeah,
Like
exactly.
I do think that's a fair question, but also I have a hard time believing that because again they can claim it's an issue of capacity or bandwidth. They're still not addressing, hey, here's what we did with all the money.
Yeah.
Right? So their on time performance in June was 62.4%. For July, that's up to 67%. That puts them in about the middle of the pack right now, which is pretty depressing. Like, if you're a commercial airliner and less than 3/4 of your flights are on time, that's not good.
No, dude, that's peak performance right there.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Kyle, what do you think? Do you buy this as a legitimate excuse, or are they hiding something?
I don't know.
I think the tone of your voice tells me all I need to know.
Like, and I don't like. It could be a legit excuse, but I don't. Does it really matter? Like, adequately staffed, but the sudden info, like, that doesn't make sense to me. Like, I guess not. Maybe not. Like, how can you be adequately staffed but not able to handle the influx of customers? Like, that means you're not adequately staffed.
Yeah, exactly.
Yep. Because the airports didn't change. The airports didn't start taking out baggage claim terminals because of COVID.
Yeah, so
they didn't permanently demolish gates. Like, all of that stuff is still there.
Yeah, like, it just seems like you fired too many people, or too many people quit. I mean, like, maybe you didn't fire them, maybe they quit.
Yeah,
you just chose to not replace them because you didn't have to for a while, but you have to now.
Yep, still a labor issue. At least it seems to me. I'm honestly curious to see if anybody else follows suit and preemptively announces anything. Because I do think this is an interesting tactic. I think by attempting to get out in front of it, but doing so a week after the Senate report, like, they're close enough together that you could easily argue it's a direct response to that. But the casual consumer who probably doesn't pay attention to that type of news is probably like, yeah, Southwest, you done messed up, but at least you admitted it.
Yeah.
So I'm curious to see if that potentially minimizes any additional damage that's coming down the pipe for them, or if that puts a target on their back because they were the ones to admit fault first. I don't know. We'll continue to track this one. I am very interested to see exactly where all of this goes, particularly because of the massive amounts of stimulus money we talked about last week. But for now, that's 3. Hell no, we don't buy it. So
yeah.
Color us skeptical. Next piece of news. This is, again, more follow-up. I promise we're getting to the fun and silly item next. Union members at a Frito-Lay plant in Topeka, the massive Frito-Lay strike that was going on, have approved a new contract. Again, proving all along what the three of us have been saying, along with millions of other people. You have the money to pay them, you just don't want to do it.
Yeah.
So these people go on strike for, I think it was a couple of weeks. Obviously, massive supply chain problems, blah, blah, blah. We know what happens when people strike. Oh, gee willikers, here's a 4% pay increase over the next 2 years. Guarantees of some additional time off stuff is included. And gee, they're back to work. So I'll be damned. I'll be damned.
Hey,
and yet, if you go to the store tomorrow and you try to buy a bag of Doritos, are you even going to notice if the price has gone up? Because right now in particular, you don't know if it's inflation that has made your bag of Doritos more expensive, or if it's a wage increase for these people that has made your bag of Doritos more expensive. Either way, does it really matter?
Yeah.
Like, if you want to buy a bag of Doritos, you're still going to buy a bag of Doritos, and now these people are making what I'm assuming is more of a livable wage. I don't know what they were making to begin with, but again, proves the point. Chipotle can do it. If McDonald's can do it, like, the money is there.
Yeah.
All it takes, you have to force their hand and ask for it.
Yeah, there isn't really a labor shortage. Like, there are people willing to work jobs. It's just there's jobs that pay a wage that people will find acceptable.
There's a shortage of people who are willing to work shitty jobs for no money.
Yeah,
that's where the shortage is.
There's a shortage of jobs that people find acceptable.
Yes.
I guess.
Exactly right. Anyway, I don't want to belabor that. I know we've talked about that a couple weeks in a row now, but I did find that rather entertaining. Again, goodness me, where's this money? It's going to cost us too much. Oh, here we go. The real headlining story of tonight, at least the first one. Crocs, which I don't know if either of you know this, is a publicly traded company.
I did not know
Currently
that.
trading at $131 a share.
Oh,
Crocs, claiming that its distinctively quirky design keeps being copied by people, has sued 21 companies in an effort to stop them from manufacturing their own generic versions of plastic rubber clogs.
Seen.
nice.
I mean, if Nike can start doing it, it doesn't surprise me. I think it's interesting that Crocs is the one to do it, but Nike wants to start doling out lawsuits saying that they own what Dunk and Air Force One look like,
Yep.
which, or Jordan. Which, to be fair, I mean, it's hard to argue that they don't own the
Yeah.
right to
I
those.
don't know that there's much to win in a lawsuit between Nike and Jordan Brand, though.
No. It's Nike and Jordan suing other people.
Oh, I gotcha.
Jordan is a subsidiary of Nike. They're okay.
That's what I was saying. I thought they were owned.
Yeah,
by the
yeah.
same-
No,
Okay.
it's they're suing other people, saying like, you can't produce shoes. There are people who produce shoes that look like Jordans or Dunks or whatever.
Yeah.
Instead of the swoosh, it's replaced by something else. And so Nike's like, you can't just take off our logo or check mark and say that that's not the same shoe anymore.
Yeah.
And so.
Not the Dunk Mans.
Yeah, but it's kind of weird because Nike doesn't want to piss off like the custom shoe community because like those people design, like a lot of those people become shoe designers, right?
Yeah.
Like you don't want to piss those people off, but it's like
No.
so like you can sell custom shoes, but you can't produce custom, but you can't produce copies of
No,
Nike.
I think
It's
they'll
like,
allow you to produce custom shoes. They'll just allow you to produce custom shoes on their terms instead of yours.
yeah. So it's interesting.
Mm-hmm.
But so like once, if they're gonna sue and say that they can trademark what this shoe looks like based on its silhouette and the material or whatever, then it doesn't surprise me that other shoe people want to do this. I am kind of find it funny that it is Crocs who has decided to step into it. But to be fair, Crocs definitely have a look, right? Like an iconic quote unquote look. Like you show me a rubber clog, and I'm gonna say that's a Croc.
Yeah,
probably.
Doesn't matter if it's knockoff brand or
Yeah.
not.
Are you ready for this eye-popping number?
What's up?
Quarterly revenue in the second quarter of this year, $640.8 million.
And that actually does not surprise me because Crocs have been really popular lately.
I mean, my wife loves Crocs. Like she has the hospital grade ones for work. She loves those. She has ones for around the house.
Well, I think
I personally do not wear them. It's not because they're not comfortable. I just don't. Like I'm not an around the house shoe type of person.
I think COVID definitely helped with like
sure.
like I need more casual slip-on shoe kind of wear, but Crocs are legitimately like popular. Like people collab with Crocs. Crocs have like a bunch of collabs that sell out. Like they're hype shoes. Crocs are hype shoes like lately. So
Croc collabs.
It does not surprise me, that trying to get into the pot that they make 648 million or whatever.
Yeah, and that's in a quarter.
Yeah.
Jeez. Yeah.
So among the companies listed, it doesn't give me all 21. Walmart and Hobby Lobby are both listed.
Hobby Lobby?
I honestly did not realize that Hobby Lobby made shoes. Apparently they do. What? Walmart, that's not surprising. They ripped that off a long ass time ago.
Oh yeah.
What the names that I would be looking for, and I've not yet seen, again because I'm not looking at the full list. I would be stunned if Amazon or the people who make like the Amazon Basics are not on there, because I would be stunned if they didn't make a version of the shoe. Like I don't know who makes all the shoes for like Payless and like all the like discount shoe stores. Like I know I've seen versions of them there too. Let me see if I can find all 21. Now I'm curious. But yeah, I mean I'm curious to know, like, how does the IP on something like a Croc hold up? Like, how specific is that language?
Yeah. Is it just like rubberized clog with a strap?
I don't know. I think you have to kind of detail like the design. I think the holes are part of
Yeah,
it
the
too.
holes.
The
Yeah, I
tread,
mean, I'm
like
sure it's more
specific tread
detailed than a
pattern.
rubberized shoe. I just don't know how
Yeah,
specific they.
but they have to prove that it's They have to prove that it's also like like everyone thinks of Crocs when they see it.
Well,
This
yeah, and
right?
so
Like they
that's the
can't
thing. Like,
just
if you hold up any of those shoes, and this is where I think if you have a brand that can become so ubiquitous with something, I honestly think that works in Crocs' favor because it doesn't matter if they look similar or not. If you hold up 5 different ones of those shoes to a customer, they're going to say that they're all Crocs.
Yeah.
You've won at that point.
Well, it's like Kleenex. It's just
Yeah.
like, yeah, it's just the brand. I don't know. Like just the brand being synonymous with the generic product.
Trying to find all 21, but it wants to tell me about the collabs with Post Malone, Justin Bieber, and Diplo instead of
Nice.
who all is being included in this lawsuit.
Does Crocs actually release like call like the little like accessories like the buttons that you can put on them? Does Crocs like have patents on those too? Do they make those or do
I don't
they?
I
know.
think so. I
Oh,
think they
Did
do.
you patent that?
nice.
That's interesting.
It consistently only references Walmart and Hobby Lobby.
Hmm. I mean, Walmart's a huge one. Honestly, I didn't know that. Yeah, Hobby Lobby really?
Well, it says that Hobby Lobby had a pair of white clogs that were listed in the lawsuit that when they went to go find them on the website have since been removed.
Hmm. Interesting. I would have never guessed that like hobby. Like, what? That's it.
You're
I
having a
don't
hard
know.
time with this Hobby Lobby thing, aren't you?
Yeah, no, it's weird because like I just don't associate them with like having like
Fashion items of any
shoes.
kind, yeah.
Yeah, like okay, maybe like I don't. Do they even sell? I think they sell fabric, but like
Yeah, it's like a Joann's meets
yeah,
like some type of world market or something. I don't
yeah,
really know. I've only ever been in one time. Yeah, I can't find the rest of them, but I am very entertained by this as a lawsuit. The question, though, as it relates to publicly traded companies, I want to pose a hypothetical here. Crocs is currently at $131. This lawsuit broke end of business day Friday over the weekend. So I want you to give me 2 scenarios. Do shares of Crocs go up on Monday in a full trading day after the announcement of this lawsuit? Do shares of any of the companies listed go down as a result? And what happens if Crocs wins?
I don't know if other company shares will go down. Like how big of
Yeah, I mean, a company like Walmart, it's admittedly not likely, right? There's way too
like
much other
I don't
stuff going on.
know like we didn't even know Hobby Lobby sold these. Like
yeah,
it doesn't really matter. But like I don't know. There's 19 other companies on the list. Those could their entire revenue could be
exactly.
copying off Crocs. So I'm not gonna. I don't know. Like the ones we talked about, probably not gonna care that
Yeah.
Crocs is suing them in the long run. Does Crocs go up? I don't necessarily know if it goes up. I mean, if they win, I think that'll be good for them. It'll go up. But yeah, maybe it goes up a little bit because people are like, yeah, Crocs are kind of iconic, so that's worth something. I mean, even if you don't think that the lawsuit itself is worth too much, just the realization that, yeah, it is like an iconic kind of piece of footwear and thus maybe has long term staying power. People might be interested in buying it, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, maybe on the term, like, yeah, I mean, definitely, I don't see like Walmart. So what like that's probably built into like Walmart's business model is like when they brought it in, they were like, yeah, we'll probably get sued for this. It's fine. You
Well,
know?
and I mean, they just have so many other products and several
Mhm.
other revenue streams anyway. Like,
Yeah,
Like
this is
Amazon.
a singular product in one of the largest warehouse store companies on planet Earth.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
Amazon Basics is gonna shrug that off. They'll be like, okay,
Okay,
We'll
sure.
stop selling the Crocs.
Well,
Yeah.
and to be fair, Amazon Basics has been in the crosshairs for a while for a lot of similar things.
Yeah.
And they pretty much are just like, yep,
They've
we
been
just gotta
accused
take
of
that.
ripping off all kinds of stuff and just
Yeah.
making their own version.
But I guess for Crocs, I don't know. I mean, maybe they go up, and also in terms of that, like, hey, we are the sole person that you can buy Crocs from.
Yeah, I mean, if you create monopoly conditions, I would assume
Yeah.
that the share price would respond extremely favorably to that.
Yeah. So I
Though,
guess I.
also to be fair, I don't think you ever fully solve the problem of knockoff goods.
True.
I mean,
Yeah.
there's always going to be something.
Yeah.
Yeah, you'll just. I mean, the like winning this case and getting a patent trademark given to you like doesn't mean that no one in the future is going to do it. It just means that you have precedent for winning the argument if you bring the other
Well,
people.
it just means that they have to redesign theirs. They have to look
Yeah.
different, but they can still make and sell the shoe made of very
Yeah.
similar material.
True.
Well, it also means that you have to bring them to court too, right? Like,
Yeah.
okay, like they could be like, okay, well, I'll just make money until you sue me. When
The
you
burden,
Yeah.
the burden becomes, it's incumbent on them to continue to enforce the legal precedent.
Yeah.
So, okay, so both of you are saying that there's potential modest upside for share prices if they win. Outside of that, you're not buying it.
No, not really.
I
It's
actually do think it's going to respond relatively positively on Monday.
so are you buying Crocs right now?
Retail investors in particular like this kind of news a great deal.
Okay.
So I would not be surprised at all if they had a big jump on Monday. If I had any money left, I might buy some for the purposes of this competition because of that.
Nice.
I don't, but actually maybe I do.
Is Crocs on Investor?
I don't know. I was gonna buy some Chipotle, but
Ooh.
the amount of money I have left is a very odd number, and so I don't know how much of it will let me buy.
Oh my. Crocs is definitely
Yeah.
on Investor.
Nice.
Maybe I'll have to do that on Monday, and that could be a fun game. Just buy it for a day and sell it.
You gotta buy it right at open.
Yeah. I mean, I could submit the order now, and it would go through as soon as it opened. I find this wildly entertaining, though. I get that for Crocs.
I mean, yeah, like, I
this
think
is
it's
100% of your business, but a patent infringement lawsuit about rubber clogs is just not something I thought I was going to see in my financial and business news column.
Yeah, like I said, I think it's not surprising that a company's doing it. I do think it's kind of funny that it is Crocs stepping up to the plate.
Oh boy. Okay, so the other thing that I find rather funny, I know that we have talked about Robinhood on the show before. I know that everybody's opinion of Robinhood is kind of this like, what they're doing is cool, but the way they make money is bullshit, and that shouldn't be a thing. So, they are going public via SPAC, and the target share price is between $38 and $42. I don't know offhand what the first day of trading is going to be, but I'll pose you the same question I posed you about Virgin Galactic 2 weeks ago. At that price, if you had the money, would you buy it?
I don't know. Does Robinhood have any goodwill left with people?
No.
Weren't they getting like sued or weren't they getting investigated too? Like what happened?
That is ongoing.
Yes, probably not. No.
Yeah, I mean, it's such an interesting dichotomy because you absolutely cannot argue that they have transformed the way that the average person interacts with the stock exchange. Like, they have done that. And yet, because of the way they make money and some of the things that have happened on this platform, people hate them. And I don't know that, honestly, I do not know, as somebody who works in marketing and occasionally has to dabble in PR and crisis management, I do not know if there's anything they can do to buy that back. I don't know.
I think they just wait it out. Like I mean, if they can just if people still use enough people still use their platform and let them survive, in 5 years everyone doesn't care. Or
Well, and that's the thing. Like, I
Yeah.
honestly don't think the executive management team of this company has ever cared, which is why it doesn't bother them. Like, their whole goal has been, we have raised an absolute shitload of money. This company has to go public and make everybody a bunch of money, or we're totally screwed and we've lost billions of other people's money. Like, nobody ever wants to lose billions of other people's money. So, like, I don't honestly think that they care, which to me is part of the problem. But again, it's just such an interesting scenario because the product is genuinely great. And yet. So, Kyle, I'll pose you the same question. $38 to $42. You buying?
Mm, I mean, it's not an unreasonable amount, but then at the same time, yeah, just like I don't know that there's the confidence in like the user base because like to get I don't know. I mean, a lot of people are so from some of the articles that I've read, like a lot of people are just like just don't download the app. Like don't if you're still getting into it, they're recommending other apps.
Yeah.
I can't think of them.
Yeah, I think the problem is they're innovative in first, but now people have the same product, and if people have a reason to not use you, so that's not good.
Yeah. So it's like while that price may not be ridiculous or outlandish, at the same time, I just don't think that it's gonna move much. Like I don't think that they're gonna be able to obtain or more users and like build up have the price go anywhere.
Okay. So you think the ship has sailed in the sense that they have a consistent enough user base to maintain what they have, but because of how long it has taken to raise the money to go public, there's enough private competitors who may make their own money not using pay for deal flow or something like that. And so you think that erodes enough of the upside for you that you would stay away.
Yeah, I think that, and then just combined with like the bad taste in the mouth from a lot of the previous users.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you all know my feelings on this topic. I wouldn't buy it if it were $1, but
Yeah.
I mean that's me. I am undeniably curious though to see how this goes. We mentioned last week SoFi as a company that Reddit might be turning into the next meme stock. I would much rather put my money there. I think the revenue streams over there are far more diversified and in much better shape to handle, shall we call them, potentially volatile market conditions. Whereas with Robinhood, if it's all pay for deal flow or pay for order flow or whatever, like as long as people trade, they will make money. Yes, but again, we've said this many times. In a bull market, everybody's a great trader. When the bull market ends, how many retail investors close their accounts and run away or stop making trades and therefore make them $0? Like that's where some of my concern is going to come in, is that this bull market is not going to last forever, and when it ends, I don't know what's going to happen to them. I obviously don't think they go bankrupt and disappear or anything, but
Yeah.
from an outsider's perspective, I'm not sure how well prepared they are to handle that. So, okay. So three no thank yous on Robinhood. Okay, cool. Yeah, I'm not sure when that goes public, but I'm undeniably curious to see how that goes. Okay. Last thing on tonight's topic of conversations, Lucid Motors, the Chinese equivalent to Tesla, also going public very, very soon. In fact, I believe it might be Monday.
Oh.
Hold on. I had my tab of notes for this one pulled up, and then I accidentally closed it. Shares of Churchill Capital, which is the partner they're going public through the SPAC with, are currently, well, they closed Wednesday at $23.43. But when did they actually start trading? Ah, yes, okay. So they do officially start on Monday. So Churchill Capital was previously public, which is obviously a prerequisite if you're going to do a SPAC. So that price was for them. Officially starts on Monday. So I will pose you the same question again. At what we think the current price is going to be, somewhere between $22 and $30, would you buy it?
Chinese Tesla?
That's the very colloquial slang for it, but yes,
Yeah,
effectively, that's
basically.
what people are calling it.
Oh man,
The performance of the cars is impressive, but obviously, as an upstart in the space, they have a lot of ground to make up.
they gonna sell them in America? I mean,
They
that's
are.
probably the plan, right?
Well, I'm kind of curious. I mean, how many other electric car companies are in China besides this one?
A great question. I have no idea.
That to me is more important because I think China's car economy is independent enough where sells whether or not it's selling outside of China is kind of
Yeah, I mean the
irrelevant.
volume is there. If that's the only country you're
And
selling in, but you sell enough of them, you're totally fine.
yeah, yeah, and I'm actually because of the way Chinese China's pretty good about buying its own cars versus buying
Yeah.
foreign cars.
Mm-hmm.
You know, even though it's probably way cheaper for them to buy a foreign car and have it shipped to China, taxes and all. Like, because like cars in China are expensive, as far as I know. Like, they're supposed to be pretty expensive. They're like luxury items.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, I feel like it's not a bad investment if they're the only competitor in the space because I feel like I feel like Tesla actually probably will have a hard time getting into China as like
Well, I mean they've got a factory over there, and they've already got sales going on
they got
over there.
sales going on, but like I feel like Chinese people, if given the alternative to buy a Chinese
Well,
electric
and
car,
remember,
I
we had
think
this conversation a couple months ago. The Chinese government was potentially
I'm gonna subsidize.
well,
You
no, they
know,
were potentially going to shut off features in Teslas or introduce some type of sanction against some of them because they were worried the ones with all the cameras and the cell chips and all that shit were going to spy on people.
yeah. So I honestly see potential in it. I don't know if I would invest in them. This well, it's $20. $20 is $20. So
Yeah.
I don't know. It's not bad.
So you're willing to take the roller coaster ride a second time?
I would have to look at well no I would say you would probably want to look into who else what other Chinese car manufacturers are competing in that space.
I can tell you this is of the options that are publicly traded, there are not many.
Well, sure, why not?
But okay. I honestly think that I would. I think the fact that they've made it this far. Obviously, we've had some of these conversations before with Lordstown and some of these other companies that have since imploded and are now on the brink of bankruptcy and putting people in jail for market manipulation. I do think of all of the competitors left, they are the most legitimate. I think that the product is there. I do think they have a legitimate shot at it, particularly because of the potential in the domestic Chinese market.
Yeah.
So I'm interested in it. Kyle, what about you? Would you buy it?
I mean, I think at that price, it's low enough that the barrier to entry is not super high, and yeah, if they are truly like legitimately, good enough, if their product is good enough to compete with Tesla, I think yeah, it might be a good place for people to jump in on, like if the Tesla boat has already sailed for them. So yeah,
Yeah, I
I
mean
think
$20 is cheaper than $700 or whatever it's at right now.
Yeah, so I think yeah, it's an opportunity, and I think if their product is good, it could take off. So yeah, it's something that I'd probably be interested in at least. So
All right. So, in a complete opposite to Robinhood, we have at least 2 yeses and 1 probably for Lucid, as opposed to 3 hell
uh,
no's.
yeah,
All right. So, are any of you going to buy it on Monday?
Probably not.
I don't think it's in there, to be honest with you. But
yeah, I don't know.
it's fun to think about. At the very
Yeah,
least, I'm curious to see where this one goes the last year or two with all of the other companies that have come and gone has been a rather volatile news cycle for the electric car industry. So I'm curious to see whether this rights the ship or not in any form or fashion.
yeah, and I think I don't know. I mean, if there's I mean, if it does well and if it's competitive with Tesla, that's always good.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's what they're shooting for, honestly. I think they would be happy in a 1-2 scenario there.
Yeah.
All right. I know we talked about this at the beginning, but it sounds like we have some impending moves coming Monday to close out the month of July. Kyle looking for a solid week out of Bitcoin. Other Kyle, have you given any thought to what you might buy once you get out of Etsy and some other things?
Um, I'm not entirely sure on that. I haven't really
Okay. No.
made, I haven't really looked too much into what I want to get into. Um, Maybe just some exploratory, like hobby type
Ooh.
investing.
Some speculative investments. I like
Yeah.
it.
Dude, Callaway's doing decent, and it's cheap.
Yep.
Golf.
Dude, golf is booming.
Yeah,
Their
golf is
acquisition
huge.
of Top Golf, I don't know if that's fully been approved yet or not, but
Yeah.
absolutely something to keep an eye on. My only thing with golf is, as somebody who avidly consumes news and product releases and all of that stuff, and obviously plays,
Mhm.
the margin on hard goods is just really, really hard to work with.
Yeah.
Like
That,
it's hard for me to justify. Like they're pricing themselves out of a lot of things. Like the average person is not going to go into a store and spend $500 on a driver.
yeah. No, it's
Like
ridiculous.
it's objectively entirely too much money.
Yeah.
So unless they figure something out there, I think there's questions of scalability.
Yeah.
But the Top Golf component of that, in particular, makes them extremely interesting, at least to me.
Yeah. So yeah, if they've got other facets other than selling specifically,
Yeah, I mean
club.
they own like 3 or 4 other companies. I know they own Travis Matthew. They own a couple of other things that are in
Yeah.
there too. So
Yeah. So I don't know.
interesting. All
Something
right.
interesting at least. Like,
Yeah.
yeah.
Well, I'll have to pay extra close attention on Monday and see
Yeah.
see where the chips fall.
Yeah, definitely.
Any other closing thoughts?
I think I'm good.
No, I don't have anything. I don't have any more moves I'm trying to make right now. I don't think.
Thinking about how he's going to spend all his winnings when Bitcoin rockets up to 60 grand again.
Nice. Yeah.
Fingers crossed for both of us, I suppose. Alrighty, guys. When we talk next, it will be the end of the month. So one person will be very upset, 3 people will be very happy, and we'll see what happens. But good luck, and I'll catch you next week.
Yep. Sounds good. Take care, guys.
Later.
Yep. See ya.